So let's talk about this Tony Khan situation. So every week is something with AEW. I said this last week. I said it this week. If it ain't the damn media scrum, it's some wrestler. If it ain't a wrestler, it's fucking Tony Khan. So Tony Khan, here's the thing about wrestling. And I want people to understand where I'm coming from with this. I'm not coming from a place, I want AEW to succeed. But Tony Khan keeps putting his foot in his mouth. And he just doesn't even leave well alone. And I want to address this too. For people out there supporting Tony Khan for what he did, or even coming at Eric Bischoff for calling him a clown, you need to stop. Eric is not calling him a clown because of what he's doing. He's calling him a clown for all the past shit he has done to lead up to here. Tony has done some stupid shit. And it keeps piling up. People are like, oh, well, if Twitter was back in the day, Eric Bischoff would have done it. Yes, he probably would have. But Eric is not coming from a bitter place. He's telling him, yo, don't do that. I did that, and they beat me in the ratings. Eric is literally going to say that on his podcast because he's coming from a place of letting him know, yo, don't do it this way. It's bad when you got Vince Russo, Eric Bischoff, Jim Cornette. They all don't like each other. I think Jim and Eric are on better terms than Russo and Jim, but they all don't like each other. They all don't communicate on a talking basis. But how is the fact that these three people don't like each other, are all saying the same thing, are all coming up with the same type of dialogue about Tony Khan and AEW, and it's coming to fruition? You think this is planned? You think they're sabotaging this? No. They're saying he is a problem. Him on Twitter is a problem. Him not understanding, reading the room is a problem. What he just did there was probably help WWE out to get another rating. Now, will say USA took the dig first because they were like, I think it was Ross Gibbons like Jinder Mahal and Seth Rollins have a history. And USA Network took a dig and said, oh, did you see their rating on Cage Match? Which Tony did say he looks at Cage Match as to gauge how to book the following week, which is a terrible idea. Go by the ratings. Go by the dialogue. Hell, I'm surprised you're on Twitter all the time. Why don't you go what the fans are saying on Twitter? Why are you going by Cage Match? No one has talked about Cage Match since what? The early 2000s? Don't go by that because nobody's on there no more. Don't go by Wrestling Observer because nobody's really talking about that anymore either. Go by what's on Twitter. Hear your fans' reaction on Twitter. That's what you need to go by. Or better yet, go watch your own damn pay-per-view, World's End. Did you hear the crowd when the devil was revealed? It was it was predictable. Jim Cornette breaks that down, and even Jim Cornette, but you can hear the crowd. The crowd is AEW's crowds are turning to what WWE crowd was before AEW came out. They're liking the heels, they're hating the babyface. When you watch WWE today, WWE right now has the best babyface I have seen since the Attitude Era. They have top babyfaces. We have not had top babyfaces like this since the Attitude Era. You have 5 or 6 top baby faces that can all vie for a world title, that can win a Royal Rumble. I think Tony Khan needs to start really analyzing what the fans are wanting, but hear the good criticism. I said it before. It's okay to listen to the good criticism. But for him to shit on Jinder Mahal, he lost matches. He's a former world champion. And it's like, nobody said nothing about that. He's a former world champion. Say what you want about the win and losses. That does have a factor. But it also is a factor. He's a former world champion. Same with The Miz. So they have a legit right. Like, I could challenge for the world because I'm a former world champion. And they held it for a good brief period. Were they the best? Absolutely not. But they were former world champions. That's what people are saying. Then, let's even go top it off like there. Let's go even further than that. Even with that going on, you go to AEW, they have these world title eliminators. People are like, well, Hook deserves it because his record is 28-2. Okay, cool. Why are you saying that now and you didn't say that on the TV show last week? Why are you saying that now when you didn't say that 2 weeks ago? I don't know. We don't know. The thing that Jinder has over Hook, he's a former world champion. So if it's kind of up to Seth sometimes too. He said, I want to put my title on line against Jinder because they have history. So you can use that. When you look at what AEW does with these world title eliminators, it doesn't work because these people don't get the TV time. It makes no sense that you had Orange Cassidy that went almost undefeated for a good how many months with that AEW international title, but yet he didn't go one-on-one with MJF not one goddamn time. Make that make sense. And he was going to lose regardless, but that's what I'm talking about. He protects who he wants to protect. That's fine. But don't get mad at what WWE's doing, because what WWE doing, there's logic to what they're doing. And you can always find a light in that tunnel of what they're doing. AEW, there's no light because Tony Khan doesn't do a good job or doesn't do a good enough job to make it make sense or doesn't do a good enough job to promote it very well. That's on him. But again, Tony Khan does what Tony Khan does. He goes on Twitter. He has a tirade because he's upset that someone calls him out on his bullshit. And don't get mad. Either A, prove them wrong, have a good ass show, or B, take the lickings. If you don't look at WWE as competition, then shut the fuck up and do what you're going to do. And leave it alone. I don't want to hear shit from nobody else about this no more. Tony Khan makes his own. He made his bed. Now he gonna lie in it. You want to go to the media scrum and look like a damn scrub and a fool? You want to look like a jackass and try to insult your own fans intelligent with this whole thing? That's on you. And when people call you out on your bullshit, don't get mad. You better take it. That's all I gotta say. I'm done.